Okay, it doesn't help to say don't look at my hair because I've just had a shower and I've washed my hair. It's still wet, but I just have to share with you. I'll have to move it to screen one. I'll say screen one. What I'm doing at the moment, and it's uh, it. We celebrated Nathan's and Joseph's birthday, 100 years together. Joseph 71, Nathan 29, and I was putting together these photos of Nathan. And so far I've got 352. So actually, okay, what I could do, this would be great if I just turn my camera off, eh? Yeah, okay, now I'm just sharing the screen and my voice. You don't have to be distracted by what I look like. And I want the screen out of the way. And let me just show you, the view is already on large, yeah, extra large. Okay, so from the time Nathan was born in 1997, the 8-day dedication ceremony, the relatives. We were living in Zwettl. We were in Zwettl for 3 years. Christoph's birthday party, and Ron and Cynthia's visit. Ambrose and Nathan, both babies. And this is the photo I sent Nathan for on Signal. I'll just enlarge it for you. And he said, funny how nobody's smiling on this photo. And it looks like it was his first Christmas. So anyhow, going on this one, he looks even, I've written 98, okay. He looks even smaller here because I'm carrying him in the, can you give me the big one? In the Tragetuch, so he's probably still Godwin, Christoph, Andy. Oh, I remember I got that dress when Timmy was born. Maybe that's not even Nathan. Maybe the date is completely wrong and that's Timmy. Okay, I might have to read because look at Andy, he's got no hair. That was him about 3 years old. So the next one was Timmy because I don't see Andy on that picture. That looks like Alyosha. He's Godwin's age. Okay, so I'm not perfect, right? I'm authentic. So this is Nathan. And here the kids painted T-shirts for Joseph for his birthday. And in Zwettl in winter, we had snow. There's a snowman we built in our backyard. And every Christmas, I took photos. Then Godwin, while we were in Zwettl, Godwin joined the Vienna Boys Choir, and we went to Sekirn every summer. And this looks to me like it was taken in Sekirn. It could be somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure it's in Canton, whether in Sekirn or that other small lake that we visited while we were staying with the Ebonics. And then we moved to Kirchberg. This is still in the house in Zwettl. So Andy, Nathan, Timmy, I suppose that's Christoph. Godwin could be at school. I'm not sure. Anyhow, that's our front door in Zwettl. This was our cherry tree. There was a sand pit under here. The owners made a beautiful garden there before we moved in. And then we moved to, I could have just moved on, right? I could have just, okay, we'll do it this time because I want to show you the next photo. So this is moving into the flat in Kirchberg in Feldgasse. And then I took my pumpkins with me because the pumpkins were growing, and I put them on our balcony in a pot. And the Magikraut, Liebstöckel, I don't even know what it's called in English. And here I was constantly gardening. Though here already I was starting to work full time. The first 3 weeks that I was working, I was sleeping in Vienna in the Saal. And then Joseph found the flat, and then we moved into the flat where we stayed for a year until we moved into the house. So the next one is uh, the trips we did from there, from Kirchberg. That's going to Altenwörth, and there was a few photos I took at that time. So you can see I'm usually the photographer, so I'm not visible on many of the photos there. So that's there we visited Oma. Okay, so anyhow, I was going through and collecting all these photos and thinking, firstly, okay, Joseph's birthday is on the 18th and Nathan's is on the 20th. So this was the first, no, it's 20. So that must have been already, okay, that's already in Feldgasse. So 97, 98, 99, 2000. So that's Nathan's third birthday there. And yeah, okay, back to the back to the picture view with the so okay, so this is where we're celebrating Joseph's birthday with this cake. This was one big room, and we put the wardrobe up here to separate into our bed is behind this wardrobe, and this part was the living area. And we had the plants were doing pretty good. We took this was still from Linz. Remember the family that gave us this plant? I don't know when that carked it. And it's Joseph's 45 by the looks of it. And the next day we celebrated Nathan's, and I made another cake for Nathan, and that's Nathan's birthday cake. And yeah, like I said, I'm the photographer. Okay, so going through all these photos, and some of them, these are all the scanned ones. I haven't even checked to see if there are some that I haven't scanned yet. I'm just basically putting them together using the Synology facial recognition. And just these are the ones that are on the Synology with Nathan's name. So there's probably even more photos of him where he hasn't been marked. But I basically selected every photo with his face and copied it into an extra folder here that I was going to share it with him today, but they've already gone home. It's already late at night, but I thought this is a project I want to continue anyhow. And some of these photos are taken from other photos, and I had another one of these which I already deleted because it came out of there. And if I've got a good quality, that's not really much. 154 kilobytes is not really much because this is then 3 kilobytes. It's nothing that you can really do anything with. I mean, if I click on that, what do you see? That's what it looks like. And even if I try to make it bigger, then it's all pixelated, right? Yeah. Anyhow, so it's just okay. That's now already in Kellergasse, and this also. So one year I gave them photo albums for Christmas, not photo albums, stamp albums for Christmas. That was, yeah, in the days before we used email, we were using letters, and I thought I could interest them in collecting stamps. And we spent a whole day sorting through, soaking, drying, collecting, looking at, examining stamps together. And Nathan on his bicycle with side wheels. I remember in Linz, the first one that we got like that for Godwin and Christoph. So here's another birthday. This is now Godwin's birthday. And this one, I have redate. I'm not sure. This is what I wanted to check. It had, I think, 2005 or 2006 on it. And it's got the 5 years. So I assume it's Nathan's fifth birthday. So I changed the date to 2002, though I'm not exactly sure. And I'm trying to use the other photos around to figure out where this belongs. So this one's got a date on it, the 24, okay, of 2002. And so that's, well, if it's March, whose birthday would it be? Okay, so it could be a belated, or it's not even a cake there. That's a game. I remember that game. That's fishing with the penguins and icebergs. Yeah. So it might not even be a birthday, that one. It's just having a game together. Anyhow, okay, so then Nathan starting school. This I remember was on Neusiedlersee when it was very low. We went on we hit bottom a little bit as we were crossing Neusiedlersee on the ferry. And this is at the dinosaur park. This is God's Day in the Chinese restaurant. This is back home. Anyhow, so I've got over 350 photos, and I just I'll just skim through here because all I wanted to do was record the fact that I wanted to talk about my values and how is, even today, today or last week, I don't remember now, somebody asked, how did you manage? What did you do? This photo is with Angelika Thurmann when I was working for F&U, organizing, we were teaching languages mainly, and Angelika Thurmann was responsible for TOEIC, and we became registered TOEIC agents. And when she came, I had Nathan with me, and why? I don't remember exactly how the circumstances were, but I was the one basically working full time, and Joseph was started working part time eventually after being at home with the kids. There are some official photos by Lucas Beck, Timmy's birthday cake, family photos near the stairs at Kirchberg, the God's Day celebrations in Altenwörth in the parish hall, and Nathan graduating from the primary school at the Vienna Boys Choir, the 11ths, and receiving his uniform, his cap and his uniform. These are all, again, official photos from Lucas Beck. We had cats all the time when we were in Kirchberg, and a birthday cake. This is the photo that really caught me. This is where I stopped. I see the boys, and to me, this looks like Taborstrasse. We walked from the Vienna Boys Choir, which is behind us here, to the tram stop here, to go to the Franz Josefs Bahnhof by train with the Fünfer. And the tram stop is just down here. And it's the end of the school year. Godwin is carrying a sheet. I suspect it's, at the Vienna Boys Choir, you have to bring your own bedding, your own sheet, your pillow, blankets. I think so. I think the blanket, everything, all your bedding. I think you just get the bed and the mattress. And here, Timmy and Andy, Andy's got a trolley. And oh, that's Timmy. I don't recognize him. He looks so different. I thought it was one of their friends, but I don't remember his name, so I can't tell you who I thought it was. And this next photo just got me. It must have been the time when we didn't have a car and we traveled everywhere by train. I had the Austria ticket, the Österreich-Karte, so I could travel all over the country, and so could the kids on my ticket. We each had our own ticket, but it was for the price of my ticket that I got a ticket for each of the kids as well, and Joseph got his half price. And yeah, we didn't have a TV, we didn't have a car. Do those look like unhappy children? I often say I reckon I was a pretty good finance manager. And while I was working in Vienna, I was accompanying the kids on the train home. And how could I take this photo if I wasn't with them? So this is a story. This picture, when we were traveling around, we were living 60 kilometers away from the city, and the kids had to travel to the city to go to school. And of course, the ones that were in the Vienna Boys Choir were in primary school, in boarding school, and had to change their own bedding and bring their bedding at the end of the school year, at the beginning and the end. So that's why I started this meeting. That's what I wanted to share. So that's already long enough about that. I think I'll just zap through the rest. There's Nathan is now in his uniform. He's already in the choir. And the other photos, I just heard on the news today the Redutensaal is being rebuilt after the parliament was in there for a few years. It's totally devastated and needs to be redone. And I was thinking, even every time I see these pictures of the boys there, I remember the speech that I gave to the CTBTO in the Hofburg. Yeah, so there they are. There's quite a few again of the. This is Nathan now in the choir with Adi Hirschal, I believe is his name. So okay, I'm just going to zap through here. This is Nathan here. Um, yeah, I'm not so great with memorizing names anymore. This is in front of our house in Kirchberg under the Lindenbaum. We often had barbecues. This is Gary and Caroline visiting us from Australia. And we had a barbecue under the Lindenbaum. And then we went to an Austrian restaurant together. And this looks a bit out of order, or else there's a big gap. 2011, 2014, Nathan is growing up. This is taken by Dave Yost. So Nathan went to visit Dave in California, and he's flying this quadcopter, I think it's called. Yeah, like a drone, but yeah, I think he called it a quadcopter. And then now he's singing with the Vivox. Okay, that's it. That's the photos that I've got. So there's still a big gap. I'm still going through the others on the Synology. The Synology is here, and when I go back, I should get to the facial recognition program. Okay, so now okay, there's a few more. There's actually what I'm doing a lot of right now is deleting the doubles. This is the one I started with. That's the one where I got to. And it's quite likely that that's a duplicate of that. And these two are the same. So basically what I'm doing next is when I'm in there, I've copied that one already to the folder of Nathan. And this one is looks like, did it move? Yeah, this is exactly the same. So I delete this one of Synology. Yeah, it's all time consuming. It's what you call the Sisyphus work. It takes a while. Yes, I'm sure there would be quicker ways of doing it, and you need a lot of patience, which I seem to have for this work. Okay, this is another photo, same situation. So I press and wait and download the original to the Nathan folder, and I put the date on it. Now I don't know how correct these dates are. I'm still working on fixing the metadata on the photos on the Synology, but I do everything as I go along. So you just do what you can, do your best, and then you can improve it as you go along. Every day you can find something better and do more. Right, so that's that one. And if the next one is exactly the same, 1.2 megabyte, same title, delete. By the way, today is beginning of daylight saving. So officially it's quarter to 10, but according to daylight saving time, it would already be quarter to 11. So time to go, get ready for bed, but I'm just waiting for my hair to dry. Right, so that's the next one. I download the original. Okay, so in the end, when you see this history of Nathan, and I'm going to do history of everybody else and all these other things that I'm doing, then you recognize what a labor of love it is because it's very time consuming. So I don't know if I had this photo already in the album. It's one that I have seen often, but if I've got it under the same name, then when I try to save it, it will typically, so I give it the date that we've got on there. So probably they're singing for my birthday. And it didn't say anything while I was saving it, so it might not be in the album yet. So they're ninth. Okay, that's the next one. So that's basically it. And when I make it available somewhere, so even this will probably go onto my YouTube under private link and will only be shared when the time comes, when it's appropriate, or if I blur all the faces, or if my kids decide finally I'm allowed to tell my story using their story because I respect their privacy. Yeah, so that's next. Same, right? So there, I delete this one. That's it. Okay, I'll stop the meeting and just keep working.